Well, hey everybody, it's HeapCVA. Welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for coming by. For those of you that have been here before, I gotta right out of the gate say I apologize for not having anything going on for the last couple of days. Got a little sick from being so active and doing stuff. Now that the weather got a little better for us, it caught up with me. And so kind of messed me up. You're probably wondering where we are right this minute. Some of you may have this game, know about it. Others may pass it by because it's not your cup of tea. This is one of the first free games I downloaded June, May, when I could get to my computer and actually see what I was doing. Because those of you that know what happened last year, I had some sight issues, and so there was some time where I couldn't get in front of my computer because I couldn't see anything. I could only see half of the monitor, the other half was black if I stared at the monitor straight on. So when I could actually see, I didn't know what I wanted to do. You know, I was still trying to figure out what was going on, and so this just popped up, and free was good at the time. So I got it. I'm a longtime owner of Minecraft, and I thought, let's see what this is compared to it. If you look behind my character here, it has a very Minecraft look to it, doesn't it? This is one, and I never posted it. You know, I signed up for YouTube about May, and I thought I could do these, and I realized it takes practice to be able to know what to say into a microphone, and I didn't have the equipment, honestly. I was trying to do it with a headset, and it really doesn't work that way. You can use NVIDIA's program, and it'll do decent stuff, but at the end of the day, you're still going to need a few other things. It's not hugely expensive, but it certainly makes the video better. So anyway, let's go into Walter's Quest. That's the only thing that exists of my old saves, is the name of the first save that I created on a game that looks nothing like it did the last time I played it. Now, I have to admit, while I haven't been feeling well, I've been fooling around with this, excuse me, just because I could walk away from it at any time and not feel like something bad was going to happen like I do with Emerged NYC or any of those other games where I feel locked in to doing specific stuff. And so, as you can tell, in about, I'd say 3 days, I have put together the ugliest building I've ever seen in my life. One of the things I got to tell you right away is, I'll probably get slapped by something, but what Minecraft has over this game, and there are people that probably like this one better, is in Minecraft, excuse me, my voice is terrible. With the mods and without the mods, you don't need them. The things that you could build were amazing. This, I know they're still working on it, is missing some of those things. And I know they don't want to be exactly like the other games, so I get it. But you get spoiled by that too. So I had to put my mind around the fact that the building wasn't going to be spectacular, but it would be functional. Because what I've found is that the game has changed so much since the last time I played it. And I'm going to make some noise because I'm going to get my little board that I write things on to remind me, which is not on the desk where I thought it was. I think when I started on Creativerse, I don't even know if there were R numbers because that's kind of how they do their updates. They're on R39 now. They blew through 36 and 38 really fast because those are big things that affect the players. This game has changed so much. I mean, the characters and the critters are pretty much the same. The trees are very similar. I'm collecting these. We'll talk about that in a minute. A lot of it is the same, but then much of it is different. The thing at the bottom, which I can't really point at, is different than it was. If we go to the screens, these things are different than they used to be. And so even like if you're going to craft, which is just like Minecraft, there's a lot of crafting in this. And you go to something and you look, things are different than they used to be. If you just look at all and see the progression of how you learn the crafting, and you have to do one thing before you can learn another, which I wasn't really ever a fan of. I like as long as you could find it, and you may have to dig pretty deep, but you could make just about anything. In this particular game, there's a progression. And so before you can build this item, which is a weapon rack, you have to build the wood chest. And so what you wind up with, and let me go up the ladder here, is you wind up, oops, wrong track, there it is, with things like doors and tables and windows and stairs you were never going to use, but you had to build those first in order to build the ones made out of stone or out of another material. And it's just convincing my brain to quit whining and just play. And so they have a lot of chests here. They're a little bit different than Minecraft. This is the next size that you get from the low end. I just haven't upgraded. Honestly, I haven't had the need to. What I've been really trying to do, and this is one of those games that I've told you guys about that I have in my stable when I don't want to fool around with the games that you see the most videos on. You saw Skyrim. This is another one, Creativerse. And I don't think I said the name of the game, did I? Just because you saw it on the screen. It took me a while to be able to pronounce that as I was getting better and my brain was starting to put the numbers and the letters in the right order for things. This was kind of, I couldn't do a first-person shooter. I couldn't do anything where I'd had to defend myself in a game because I didn't have the coordination then. This was kind of like a nice, how badly can you mess this up? And at the end of the day, nothing really happens. So I've been fooling around with things that when I was playing this game before I put it down to do the things that you see, almost all the stuff that you see on my channel more than anything else, I had spent most of my time digging in mines and building buildings. Didn't really pay attention to much else. Well, as you can tell, I'm creating a collection. And what I'm doing is that each of these critters, well, two of them wound up coming with the other two. You can feed them. And then a day later, they'll give you something. And in this game, you scratch their back with your, what do you call that thing? This thing here is a cell. It's that thing you got on your hand that you actually vacuum things up. You don't use a tool to dig it out. So when you feed them and then they're happy. See, he's hungry right now. You scratch their back or scratch their head or whatever, and then they give you something. And each, you can tame any critter here. And do you see the snap in the mouse? One of the things that changed in this is an online game now. There's 1,400 people playing this right now. In other worlds, now this is a private world and I have a password on it to keep it just me, but I had to learn how to do that, and that's why I lost all of my saves, is because they didn't follow the change in the way the system was run for the game. There's adventure. I mean, there is so much new to this game, and you know, one thing they say now, if I can get to the right screen, is this whole upgrade to Pro. So now there's a part of it that you can pay for. I haven't paid for it yet. I have enough to do just with what I'm doing right this minute. That gets me an opportunity to see what I like and what I don't like, and see if it's worth following down this path, which I never got this far before. Honestly, I didn't understand this part of it about the taming. Now, this is a buzzard chizard. I guess it's like a chicken. And you notice over his head, it's a picture of one of these mining gloves. And I call it that because I don't like the word they use. Now, one thing I found out is that sometimes when you scratch them, you knock them clear across the yard. And if you don't have a fence, they don't appreciate that. So if you scratch them, each one has a little way that they pose. And you'll notice I got all of these things by my hand from him. So I got some flowers and I got some eggs, which are a big deal in this game. And there's only this bird and his little cousin. See, now he wants a shower. That give you eggs, which is how you craft food to feed these guys. The better food, the better goodies. Do you kind of get it now? Because, like, this is a Miru, M-I-R-U. Kind of a goofy, scary sort of thing. Normally they're attacking you in the mines, but they can be tamed. And they give certain items, like if you want to upgrade your weapons and armor, you need something that he has. And usually you have to kill him. I'm trying to see if I can get what he can give, which is a Miru Eye, by feeding him and letting him give me something every day and a half or so to see if it works. If it doesn't, you can dismiss the critter and it makes them disappear, and they give you whatever they would have done in combat, and they're gone. I mean, it refreshes itself every day, but I got him, and he was standing right next to him, watched him, and it almost like tamed him at the same time by accident. So I don't know what he can do for me. He hasn't been fed. This little guy needs to be fed. He doesn't give much. The eggs are what I really wanted most. These things down here, notice that I don't need gates. I can jump over these fences all day long. The critters, this is like a 10-foot fence to them. They will not jump over this. And you can even, let's see if I have some of them. I think they're up here. Notice I'm growing some stuff. Now that I got to make a lot of food for these guys, I got to grow a lot of food. Something I was reading, this is wooden fence. If I come here and I do this real quick, and hopefully I can get this done before he gets there. Nope, he's not going to let me. And you can't push him. There's no way to move him. You just run right past him. Notice how that is below the ground, right? Oops. He will not go past that fence that's buried in the ground. It's weird. It's handy when you're getting attacked. But it's some of the things that are a little different in this particular game than in good old-fashioned Minecraft. And honestly, I haven't played Minecraft in so long, I don't even know what they're doing. I'll have to figure it out. Let me just put this down here. And so this is kind of where I was spawned. I didn't go very far. This over here is the Sahara, or the, what do they call it? Savannah. The critters over there are higher level. I can probably take them on. In fact, they don't really have anything I really need right this minute. Give me a second and let me go over to another part of the map for those of you who haven't played the game before. And I'll show you some of the things I'm relearning, I guess, over at this other side. So give me just a second and I'll zip over there so you don't have to watch me run across the grass. Hang on for just a second. Okay, guys, here we are. Now, those savannas over there. Here is a kind of a desert area. Not going to go here right now. These guys that are laying there look like a pile of bones. They kind of are. They're little skeletons. They'll whip the bejesus out of you. I think they're called a devilish or devil something or other. I'm still dying by them. And so I stay away from there for right now. There's plenty for me to do that I don't need to worry about it. That chicken that I caught, there's ice area over here, some snow. I caught them over there because I haven't seen their younger cousin. There's two kinds of eggs you can get. And so I had to kind of make him mad. You'll see that bell that's in his hands. That's how you tame a critter, and you got to aim it at him, and it kind of hypnotizes him. I'm not going to do it to that pig. He'll slap me. If I knew where there was a leafy here, let's do this. One thing I really like. Boom. If you're far away or you're in the place you don't need to be, boom, all of a sudden you can transport back home. I love that. I was looking to see if there was any of those little green dudes running around. Those are called leafies. They're not very smart, not very fast, and they're not aggressive. When you're first starting, you do have to kill some critters because they drop stuff that you need to build armor or do other things. And so it's one of those things where you're kind of stuck doing it. But in this game, as opposed to Minecraft, which used a leash or something like that, you use this funky bell thing, and you got to get close to them. I don't see any leafies, unfortunately. Figures when I want to see one, they're all invisible. They're not really invisible. It's just that they've all wandered away. Usually, I can't get them out of my little farm I got going here. And that's very much like Minecraft. So this is another one of those games that when I need a break and I need a change, I need to get away from something going on in another game. And I think you could guess what I'm talking about because I've said it. Probably the last 10 videos at least, I mentioned something about the forums for that particular tech demo. It's not a game yet. And some of the stuff that's going on, and honestly, I don't want to put myself in a position to, number one, attack somebody even if they need it. And number two, did I say number one? Number two is to wind up defending myself because somebody reported me. Or they're coming back and got their friends to come, and I don't want to start that kind of activity. I have plenty to do. I don't need any extra stuff. Now, what you're not seeing today is a video of Emerge NYC. Now, they did a live stream where you could participate in the multiplayer. I wasn't home. I actually had work today, believe it or not. doing some stock photos and for a company, and I do that on the as needed basis, and they called me to come in on the weekend to get some stuff done that I've got to get the proofs to them by Wednesday, and they'll be making a decision by Friday for something that's going to go into their store. And it's just something I've always done off to the side on my days off. And it just popped up, and, you know, as much as I like YouTube and doing the stuff that I do on YouTube, the money I'll generate by the work that I did both today and yesterday, even though I didn't feel good, makes the rest of the month a whole lot more fun, if nothing else. And so, you know, that's why another reason, even though I was sick, I said, yeah, I'll do this, because I just tell people, stay away, let me set up my stuff. I'll do the photos, and, you know, I have a lighting system and all the things they need so they can display their wares, and then I do the shoots, and then I'll do the Photoshop work. And so that kind of pulled me away from doing stuff like this. But let's go back to why there isn't the Emerge NYC video. By the time I got home, there was still time. I could not log in to be part of the multiplayer. And I don't believe it was their system, because I have seen no complaints about it. I think it was on my end, and we do have occasional issues with internet access. Even though I'm in a city, I'm not out in the country somewhere. Sometimes we have issues. And this was just one of those days. It started this morning, and that's why it was okay that I was off doing the photo shoot, is because I really couldn't do much on the computer anyway. My wife was trying to use her system. My daughter lives across the country, was trying to FaceTime us, and we couldn't connect. We could get voice, but we could get no video. And it was just one of those days when it was a good day to get out of the house. And so multiplayer isn't as big a deal for me right this minute. It may be a big deal later. Well, I don't think that waiting's going to hurt. It'll make it better. I mean, they have one guy, that's all he does. He doesn't do anything else for the tech demo in the future game. This is his whole thing. Some people on the forums are pretty upset. I haven't seen a lot of people go say, "Ooh, cool, that was a lot of fun." And honestly, guys, the amount of negativity and the amount of sniveling, and that's the word I'm using, good or bad, is starting to go off the rails. And for my own mental health, and to make me a nicer person for the people that come to my channel and that I see all the time, I decided to just skip that. There are guys that I don't know if they're trying to make a name for themselves or they feel that they're better. My comment to anybody that complains about anybody making a game, it's not just that one. We're watching 2 that are in some level of beta, 3 actually, if you still count 911 Operator. Can't be everything to everybody, but if you're really going to throw stuff out, I want to see your work and see what you can do. And if it's good, I'll buy it and I'll pay double price. But if you can't, or you have no clue, then you have less of an opportunity, in my mind, to really talk crap about people or companies when you don't know what you're talking about. Because you expected something, and we go back to this over and over again of this expectation, and it's dark here now. See, there's one of those guys there, but I already have two of that color. I don't need another one. There's a silver one I'm trying to get. This was a blue. This is a gold. I need the silver that goes in between. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. See, and that's another issue. You don't pick a fight, and I say that loosely, when you know that before you get to the end of the disagreement, you'll already have forgotten what you were talking about. And that is my life. It's the way my life has been since March of last year. I hit a year here on the 9th. And while things are very good, there's always going to be the 5% that I can't, and I'm just happy that it's only 5%. It could have been so much more. But I have days that are not my friends. I'm dizzy, or I can't, the words don't come out the way I want, or I say something and I'll actually go toe to toe with people that I said this, and then they'll go, no, that's not what you said. This is what you said. And I'm just lucky my wife doesn't stick her phone in my face and record me when I say stuff that I thought I said, and then find out that wasn't anything like what came out of my mouth. So that's why I have to be careful. And sometimes it affects my ability to do videos, because what good is a video if I can't talk to you guys? Or if I think I've said something to you and I did have a video set up to upload, and I usually do my stuff, proof it, get it all set, and render it when I go to bed so it's ready in the morning to upload. I listened to it one more time after I uploaded it to YouTube, and I must have had, my ears were clearer or something. And I picked up all of these mistakes I made. And these comments, not comments, but as I was talking about the game, not this one, another one, it didn't make sense. And I would have uploaded that, and you guys would have let me know that it didn't make any sense, which, and part of me wants to do it just because I really enjoy when you guys do that. But there's another part of me that's embarrassed because I made the mistake, you know what I mean? So, it's a give and take kind of thing. And so all of that plays into the whys, and I am better and smarter and more able to do things like this because I put my head down and just charged ahead in May and forced myself to relearn this stuff who would have thunk? This is not a brand new platform. This has been around for a while. It's chock full of people doing things. How many gaming channels are there? And like I've been telling you guys a million times over, I never expected anybody to find me. It was as much about how to reuse my computer, how to learn how to do certain things, and I think I've finally gotten there. And do I have my days? Yeah. I think everybody has their day or their couple of days every once in a while. Mine are a little more often, but I'm not going to let it get me down. And like tonight, I'm going to put together a video that you guys will see tomorrow that is just where I was in this point in time. Yes, I'll go back to Emergent NYC. Of course, I'll go back to Emergency Call 119. A new thing just came out on it that I'm working on because it requires artwork. Because it's not gameplay, they have put a thing in where you can actually change the color of the fire apparatus. Well, you thought what I'm doing for my mods for 911 first responders was a lot of work. Wait till you check out Notre 112. Oh my. So anyway, here's another look at another one of the many games that I have on my computer to kind of give me a break from the same-o. This one's Creativerse. I haven't played it as much. What you're seeing is the first 3 days that I've come back to it after taking a break from probably July, August-ish, somewhere around in there. So tremendous amount of changes, a lot of things happen in this thing. It's a lot of fun. It's still free to play at this level. If you want to pay for the pro version, it just allows you more worlds and stuff like that. You get bigger storage. So I can just build more chests. I don't need a bigger backpack. So it is worth checking out if you're curious. And I'm pretty much at the end of the time I usually like to use. So I think that's enough for this. I just wanted to show you another one of the games in my stable. I'll go back to Emerge NYC and Notrif 112 this week coming up. There's at least something to talk about, if nothing else. And thank you again so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the support. If you have any comments about this and in any of the other things that I've been doing, if you're interested in gameplay on this, because to me, this is brand new and some of it just happened. So anything that you saw a couple of months ago has already changed again. I don't mind doing these and putting them into the rotation. Leave me a comment. If you saw me do something that didn't make any sense or I missed something, be sure to let me know that too. If you don't think of any comments, please a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me know if this made any sense or I did a terrible job. I use those as a thermometer to tell me if I'm running hot or cold as far as how the videos go. And at the end of the day, I wish you all the best, whether it's the sun is out where you're at or it's dark. Hope the day went or is going exactly the way you wanted it to go or want it to go, and you're doing what you want to do. And let's get together in the next video. And until that time, have a great day or evening and take care.